The Anything Show with Jon Francois wants to give you a $100 gift card and an Anything Show shot glass and keychain Monday, July 26th. All you have to do is tell us on our social media, what is your bucket list travel destination? That place you desperately want to go to now the pandemic is winding down and it's safe to travel again. Facebook.com/The Anything Show, or you can contact us on Instagram at Anything Show Francois. Let us know what your bucket list travel destination is. And on Monday, July 26th, you could be the one winning a $100 gift card and a shot glass and keychain, courtesy of The Anything Show with Jon Francois.
From the Big Heavy World Studios in Burlington, Vermont, this is The Anything Show with Jon Francois. I hope you know what you're in for.
Oh, I'm lying to you again. Jon Francois here, recording from the Magic 97.7 studios in Lynnonville, Vermont on Thursday, June 24th. And of course, joining me is actress and host of the Black Hole Sun podcast, Massiel Hernandez, on the phone from New York City. Hey, Massiel.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing wonderful. You know, I'm so excited for the show. Coming up later on, I'm going to have a conversation with one of our lovely sponsors, Emma Paunil from Emma Paunil Music. She has a wonderful series of musical children books that we mentioned last week, actually, and it focuses on how kids can manage their emotions and mental health. Emma also has guided planners and journals, and we're also going to talk about a very heartfelt thing that she's doing for World Suicide Prevention Day in September. For our Hollywood gossip, #Free Brittany. Massiel, thank you so much for bringing this up. We got to talk about that. Yeah, we got to talk about that Brittany Spears conservatorship. And if you want to deep dive into it, might I recommend the latest episode of the Black Hole Sun podcast, starring our very own Massiel Hernandez, available where you get podcasts. Ask Anything. Oh, yeah. Wow. It seemed like literally last week, we just ended our June contest, and now we're already at our July contest. So now I'm asking you, what is your bucket list travel destination on our social media? Facebook.com/The Anything Show and Instagram at Anything Show Francois. Monday, July 26th is your next chance to win that $100 gift card and the Anything Show shot glass and keychain. And finally, for our headlines, if you and your significant other never know what to eat, Popeyes will help you out. We'll get to that in a second. Listen, subscribe, follow The Anything Show with Jon Francois on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts. Follow us on Facebook.com/The Anything Show and Instagram at Anything Show Francois. The Anything Show with Jon Francois is also on YouTube. DM me if you are interested in Anything Show with Jon Francois, shot glasses and keychains. Okay, Massiel, we were talking off the air about how 2 episodes ago, me clearing my throat was really distracting. So hold on, I got to do it again. Hold on. Just say something random, Massiel, while I go clear my throat.
Hi, guys. I hope everyone's doing well. Everyone's enjoying the episode so far. We have a lot to talk about. And when you get a second, go check out my podcast as well. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, Massiel, on that note, shall we start with our headlines?
Yes.
Woo! All right, let's see. Summer officially here, Massiel, and someone polled over 6,000 American adults about swimming. Of course, swimming, a very popular summer activity. Only 44% of people claim to be a good swimmer. 17% said they're very good. 27% said somewhat good. 21% said average. 18% said bad or very bad at swimming. Massiel, what say you? Because I know New York, I don't know if New York City is really well known for public pools. I feel like...
Oh, God, it's known for it. It's notorious for their pools.
Ooh.
Their pools are disgusting. Like,
Okay.
I took swimming lessons as a kid at the public, not the public pool, one of the public high schools, and it was it was disgusting. But I'm an average swimmer. Like, I haven't gone swimming in a while, but I did take lessons as a kid. So I'm a pretty decent swimmer. If you push me out of a boat, I can swim. So.
You know what? Like you, Massiel, I also took swimming lessons when I was a kid. You know, it's that usual suburban thing where the parents, they find like either a YMCA program or a public pool that offers lessons on Saturday mornings. So I did that. They didn't come out really handy because there was actually one day where me and my sister, we decided to like swim in the 10-foot area and we were drowning. And I know. And instead of being like the big brother and trying to save my little sister, I was like, oh my God, get myself out. Like I was literally climbing on top of my little sister trying to get myself out. Luckily, lifeguards were on standby and saved our lives. But yeah, nonetheless, no. I mean, I'm very not good at swimming. And I also don't like the temperature of the water. I don't know if this makes me seem like an old person, Massiel, from Florida, but I always find that with public pools and with oceans, the water is just too cool for me. So I just end up wanting to just stay in a hot tub the whole time, you know?
Oh, I see. I feel like the Pacific Ocean is very cold, like in comparison to the Atlantic. So, you know, I'm not into going like competitively swimming. And the place I learned was like a public high school. It was disgusting. And Yikes.
Oh, boy. Well, we have swimming during the summer, and our next headline here, a summer activity that people love to do is traveling. And of course, that ties in with our Ask Anything question. Someone asked people how much they plan to spend on their vacation this year. Now, this was surprising to me, Massiel. Let me know what you think about this. Men are around 50% more likely to go big and overspend on vacations, whereas 33% of women say that they'll spend less than $1,000 on their big vacation. Now, I thought it was kind of like flipped. I thought that, like, you know, at least in the context of a relationship, say if a couple is going to like the Bahamas, stereotypically, it seems like it was the men that was always like, you know, very conscious about money, trying to save as much as they can. And the women are usually like, no, come on, we only live once. Let's spend all we can. I mean, what do you think, Massiel?
I'm actually really good at being frugal on planning vacations. I went to Berlin for 8 days, and I spent, with plane ticket and everything, I spent about $1,000.
Whoa.
So, I'm really, like, I'm kind of it sounds crazy, but I plan my own vacations, and I like to go alone, so I'm kind of a penny pincher. Like, I like to spend, like, if I'm going to spend on anything, like, it'll be, like, something I can get from that particular place, like, or that particular country, like a dish or, like, a garment or, you know, like I don't know, like a little tchotchke or something. But yeah, I'm pretty good about planning vacations. Yeah.
You know what? And I would imagine that being from New York City as you are, it seems like you're spending like $5,000 a month on rent or something. Like everything's expensive in New York City.
Yeah.
I feel like that.
You got to be smart about how you spend your money in New York. You know?
Yeah. I feel like that is probably the best education in knowing how to save and manage your money. So that's great for you, Massiel. I mean, in the context of my relationship, my girlfriend, understandably, because she came from like a family background where money was pretty limited and kind of, you know, spent all over the place and not really managed well. She's actually very like smartly practical about money, where I tend to be sort of a mix of like, all right, like I'm going to pay my bills, I'm going to pay my rent. But at the same time, like if I want to spend like, I don't know, $2,000 on a boat ride to Mississippi, why not? You only live once. YOLO. Oh, I love it. Oh, God, there's stuff in my throat. You know, Massiel, as I was saying... Look. As I was saying to Massiel off the air, the worst thing you can do before you do a radio show is like eat a bunch of fast food and drink soda because of all the sugary stuff that's involved. The phlegm that comes up in my throat, it'll make your head spin. But anyway, oh my God, speaking of men and women, Massiel, our next headline here, 56% of men say the number one thing that can get them to go to the doctor is an important woman in their life. So this could be anywhere from a wife to a girlfriend to a mom. Now, do you have any siblings, or you're an only child, Massiel?
Oh, no, I am one of 9.
Wow. Oh, my God.
But I only grew up with like 4 of them. The other ones are on my dad's side. I didn't grow up with them. But yeah, no, I have a couple of brothers. And I think I find that to be pretty accurate, I think, this statement.
Now, why is that? What is it about men being so stubborn about going to the doctor that it gets to a point where like they have to have a woman say, please look out for your health? I mean, I know the answer might be obvious.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. But, you know, actually, it might be... I think there is stereotypically a certain quality of man that's like, oh yeah, I got this. I can lift 500 pounds. I can lift a house. I can lift a building. I could sweat. I could do everything. I'm a man. And usually I think the woman is there to bring him down to earth and be like, no, you're immortal. Like you still need to look out for your health.
True.
Yeah.
True. I agree with that. There's just way too much like guys are just like, I can do this, I can do that. It's like, you should go check yourself and make sure you take care of that. Actually, what's really funny is a friend of mine was really sick recently, and he was just like, and I was like, you should go to the doctor. Like, that doesn't sound good. And I got him to go to the doctor, so. And
you saved his life, I assume.
Yeah, he had like, I don't know what was wrong with him. I think he had a really bad cold, but I was like, maybe it's the Rona. You should go. And he was like, no, it's not the Rona.
Oh, that's good. You know what? The important woman in my life, actually, Massiel, is my mom. That, she would be the one that would always tell me. Ever since I moved out of the house, by the way, like 4 or 5 years ago, my mom would always say, hey, did you ever get your health insurance straightened out? Have you gone to the doctor? When's the last time you gone to the doctor? And sure enough, when I finally gave in and got health insurance and went to a doctor for the first time in like 4 years. I think back in January is when I got the insurance and the doctor's appointment set up. The doctor pretty much looked at my diet and told me, hey, if you continue eating crappy processed food like this, you're going to get cancer. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. And it was because I was like feeling like bloated, constipated. I was feeling all these weird things, and it was because of the food I was eating. So I credit my mom, if it wasn't for her knocking sense into me and making sure I look out for my health, maybe, Massiel, we wouldn't be doing this show. Maybe June 24th is today. I think by June 25th, you would have had to take over the Anything Show while I was on my deathbed.
Oh, no. That sounds terrible.
It does sound terrible. I know. Did I bring the mood down? I apologize.
Yes. Let's go on to something else.
Oh, okay, fine. All right. Coffee. Do you drink coffee?
I love coffee.
Oh, wow. I don't. But you know what? But you know what? This is straight for you, Massiel, for our next headline. In coffee news, a study found that if you want to reduce the chances of your sleep being messed up, and this is maybe kind of obvious, do not drink caffeine 6 hours before you go to bed.
I knew that.
Yeah, makes sense. You don't want to be jittery and nervous and anxious, at all hours of the night. But also what I found fascinating, the same, or not the same, but a different study also said that if you drink 3 to 4 cups of coffee a day, you are much less likely to get liver cancer. So I don't know, man, these studies about coffee where it's like, oh, hey, it's going to not make you sleep if you drink too much of it. But at the same time, oh my God, your liver will be great for the rest of your life. I don't know. I mean, Massiel, how many cups of coffee do you drink a day?
I drink one, and I drink any kind of caffeine prior to 4 o'clock. That's my rule.
Okay.
Because if I drink anything after 4 o'clock, I'm not going to be able to sleep. But that whole liver thing could be true. I mean, coffee, like a cup of black coffee, which I don't know too many people who drink that. It does help with, I don't know, it's like, sometimes it's a diuretic, I guess. And so it could be true. I also want to know who sponsored these studies. Was it Folgers? Kind of know.
Yeah. Could be Folgers. Could be what's another coffee brand? Starbucks.
Yeah, Maxwell House.
Yep. Well, look, I used to do coffee as my caffeine fix, but I got turned off by the taste. And after a while, I just said, you know what? Let me just do Coca-Cola whenever I need a caffeine fix. And that's probably not so healthy because of all the sugar in it. But you know what?
Yeah.
I drink it very sparingly, very rarely, Massiel. So please cut me some slack, okay?
I am. I'm going to cut you some slack. Just this one.
Okay. All right. Lastly, before we wrap up our headline segment here, Popeyes. Massiel, you a big fan of Popeyes?
No.
Why? Oh my God.
Popeyes is up there with White Castle. Like, they say White Castles are murder burgers. So
oh God, murder burgers. So Popeyes are God. What's a word that rhymes with chicken that means dead?
I don't know. I just know that every time I have Popeyes, I get so sick.
Okay. So. Oh, I just came up with it. If White Castles are murder burgers, then Popeyes is non-living chicken. Huh?
Oh man!
Dad joke of the year. What did you say?
Keep to the script.
Okay, fine, Massiel, fine. My point being, for our last headline, Popeyes. If you are in a relationship with a significant other and you guys are like, honey, what do you want to eat? I don't know, honey, what do you want to eat? Like if it's like that kind of dynamic and you just happen to love Popeyes just came up with this brilliant idea called the I don't know meal for people who, for people who cannot decide what to eat. Now, Massiel, stick with me. I'm sticking.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. They don't really say what is in the meal, but what we do know is that when you go to Popeyes and you say, I don't know, whenever they ask you what you want to eat, they're like, okay, great. We'll give you the I don't know meal then. All right. Next person. And then you get what you get. So
imagine paying for some random stuff and be like, this is it. Or plot twist, I don't know. So I don't have anything, like anything. You pay for nothing.
Wow. So I feel like Popeyes would be in for a lawsuit if they did that
Sure.
Oh boy. That is awful. So Popeyes, if you are actually doing that, then prepare to get sued. And when you do, Massiel is just going to be laughing all the way to the bank because she hates Popeyes like crazy.
That's right.
I know.
That's right.
A great way to end our headline segment. Massiel wants Popeyes to lose everything.
Unless they sponsor the episode, not specific.
Okay. And if you have a headline that you would like to share with us, facebook.com/theanythingshow. You can also contact us on Instagram @anythingshowfrancois. That's Instagram @anythingshowFrancois. Jon Francois here from the Magic 97.7 studios in Lindenville, Vermont. Massiel Hernandez, as always, joining me on the phone from New York City. Oh, my goodness. This July, we are giving you another chance to win a $100 gift card and an Anything Show shot glass and keychain. Massiel, are you ready for another round of Ask Anything?
Yeah!
All right. Cue the music. Okay, so the question for this coming month of July is, what is your bucket list travel destination? In other words, the pandemic is winding down. Oh my God, Massiel, flights are expensive like crazy now because everybody's trying to... Yeah, Massiel, you're feeling the exhaustion. So,
oh my gosh, I can't do my $1,000 to Berlin anymore.
Well, in a perfect universe where you had all the money in the world, like, where would you go right now, Massiel? Like, give me a destination that is your bucket list.
London, Paris. Like I've been wanting to go to Europe, so London, Paris, Berlin, Copenhagen, Stockholm, just that part of the world.
Oh my goodness gracious! Wow. So you clearly have all the money in the bank in your perfect universe.
Well, you said it's not, basically if I had all the money in the world, I'm like, yeah, that part of the world.
There you go. There you go. Well, Sarah, one of our responders, is more down to earth. She says she would like to go to Door County, Wisconsin. So,
okay.
Not exactly Europe, but still, I'm pretty sure Door County, Wisconsin is known for something. Maybe they're known for having the biggest door ever.
Or maybe a lot of cheese?
Yeah. Wisconsin, they're known for cheese. So maybe the biggest cheese and the biggest door, and they combine them together, and you have a cheesy door.
The cheese door.
Yeah. Oh, Lord Jesus. Shay, just like you, Massiel, Shay listed 100 different places because she also has money in her perfect universe. Shay says France, Italy, Scotland, Spain. She wants to visit her host family in Germany. Oh, look at that.
Wow.
Yeah, Oregon. Now, okay, Massiel, let me stop right here. Do you say Oregon or Oregon?
Oregon.
Okay, my girlfriend says Oregon, and she's convinced that... That's what I'm saying. She's convinced that it's...
I like Tony, and I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, exactly. Who the hell... that must be a Vermont thing. Who the hell says Oregon?
Oregon.
It's like
sounds like origami.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It sounds like some messed up shape as opposed to a state. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, Tony, I love you, but you are so wrong on this. The state of Washington is a state that Shay would like to visit. Deshaun, one of our other responders, he says he would like to go cruise and go to Vegas. And finally, Lisa would like to drive to cross country to Wyoming and Montana to see the beautiful countryside. Yes, I would imagine. Lisa's actually from Connecticut, so of course I think...
okay.
Yeah, I would assume with all the highway traffic, the suburbia, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it's nice to just be at peace with the horses and the grass and the cows. And then Lisa would like to drive up to Alaska, maybe. So,
ooh.
I know.
That'd be nice.
You know what? Let's drive with Lisa, Massiel. Screw your Europe trip. Let's just go to Alaska.
No, I want to go to Europe.
Okay, fine. Okay, so that's just some of our Ask Anything responses. And like I said, please, on Facebook.com/TheAnythingShow and Instagram @AnythingShowFrancois, let us know what is your bucket list travel destination. The pandemic is winding down. People are getting vaccinated. It's safer to travel now. So where would you like to go? Let us know for a chance to win a $100 gift card and an Anything Show shot glass and keychain Monday, July 26th. Okay, Massiel. All right. Hey, by the way, stay tuned. Before we get to our Hollywood gossip, I would like to remind you that later on we got my conversation with Emma Paunil from Emma Paunil Music. She'll be talking about her musical children's picture books, guided planner and journals, the awesome thing that she's doing for World Suicide Prevention Day. So stick around for that coming up after our Hollywood gossip on The Anything Show. Massiel, shall we get to the conservatorship?
Yes.
Okay. Cue the music. All right, hashtag Free Britney. It's trending. It's basically crazy because I think Massiel, and you might have to inform me on this, we're recording this on Thursday, June 24th. So what was it? Was it like yesterday that we saw like this conservatorship play out on TV?
Oh, yeah. It's been in the courts for a while, it's been, I felt like, I cried a lot when I heard her speak because it hit me hard and like, yeah. Well, it's really sad.
How about for the listener who might not know what's going on? Can you explain the whole story behind Brittany Spears and the conservatorship?
Yeah, sorry guys. So about 13 years ago, Brittany Spears infamously had a breakdown. She attacked a paparazzi with an umbrella, which he deserved because he was being a total your subtext there. She was having a really hard week. Her husband at the time wasn't allowing her to see her children, so she had a nervous breakdown. So her dad came in and decided to do a conservatorship to help her out because she was not in a good state. Fast forward 13 years later, she's still in this conservatorship, and it's kind of crazy. It's kind of wacky. And a couple of years ago, there was a movement started by a group of people called Free Britney because they really considered that what was going on with her was wrong, that she's being abused. In a way, it was a conspiracy theory, quote unquote. But yesterday, she spoke at a trial to remove the conservatorship. And basically, it's not a conspiracy theory. She's very unhappy and very abused.
Wow. And so the latest that I'm seeing here in terms of this whole conservatorship controversy, Jamie Spears, Brittany's father, did respond. He had a statement read through his lawyer, which said, quote, Mr. Spears is sorry to see his daughter suffering and in so much pain. Mr. Spears loves his daughter and misses her very much. Do you buy that, or do you think that's just BS, Massiel?
No, I think he's just covering himself. I think that if any of our listeners have watched the New York Times documentary, Framing Brittany, you see a side of Mr. Spears that you really are like, wow, this guy is not a very nice guy, and he's kind of money hungry. So, yeah, I don't believe him.
Yeah. And I also watched that documentary, too. That it was definitely very fascinating. And celebrities were just all over this with the hashtag Free Britney. Even Britney Spears' ex, Justin Timberlake, chimed in. He said, quote, we should all be supporting Britney at this time. He also added that no woman should ever be restricted from making decisions about her own body. And he gave his love from him and his wife, Jessica Biel. And Britney also got some support from Halsey, Courtney Love, Mariah Carey, Brandy, Tanashi, Rose McGowan, etc. And Brittany was, as you probably saw yesterday at the trial, she really went in on our dad, saying that he should be jailed for the way he's been handling the conservatorship. And my God, I mean, apparently Brittany is, I don't know if does she still have an IUD? Because I hear that she's not. Yeah.
So the thing is, an IUD lasts about 10 years.
Yeah.
So they implanted her with an IUD, and she's been wanting to take it out because she's been wanting to have a baby with her boyfriend.
Yeah. And I mean, God, I would understand. And I got confused. I was led with the impression when I first heard this that she had an IUD when she was much younger, like going back to the 90s. Like, it's one thing to be controlled through a conservatorship, be controlled by your management, your people, your family, when you're like a teenager, and when maybe you're too young to know what you're doing. But at this point, I mean, Brittany is how old? I mean, she's like what?
She's 39. She's going to be 40 in December.
And she's still is being controlled, I guess, in a sense, as if she's a child and just doesn't have any direction in life. It's so bizarre.
It's crazy. Like, she literally has no control. They've taken away her credit cards, taken away her passport. She cannot drive. She can't have her boyfriend drive her. She's allotted a certain amount of time to see her children, allotted a certain amount of time to see a boyfriend. Like the IUD thing, she can't remove it because she wants to have a baby and get married. There was a lot of things that were, like she said, there's a lot of recordings out there, and you could hear in her voice how angry she is. She talks about being angry and crying all the time, and it's a really sad case because if you think about it, she kept working. So in conservatorships, usually it's for elderly people who suffer dementia and can't take care of themselves. But Brittany was still working. She talked about working 7 days a week for 10 hours and not having a break. And if she ever kind of fought against her schedule, then they would reprimand her and not allow her to see her kids. It's really ugly. It's really, really ugly.
Yeah. And of course, we'll keep ourselves posted as time goes by. For you listening, you may be listening at a much later time, way after this trial has sort of erupted the way it did. But yeah, just keep in mind, on Thursday, the 24th of June, this is pretty much 24 hours after this conservatorship trial was pretty much seen in full force on television. So, we'll see what happens, and we're hoping for the best for Brittany. And, yeah, certainly the hashtag Free Brittany very much deserves to be trending because, what she's had to go through is just unspeakable almost.
Definitely.
All righty. Let's see. Oh, my God. We almost forgot that the Olympics are happening. Did you forget that the Olympics are happening? Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh. You know what's funny? The only reason I remember the Olympics were happening is that Hello Kitty just released some jackets with the Hello Kitty symbol and the Olympics, and I was like, oh, the Olympics, that's happening. Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I remember talking it over with my girlfriend, who was also just kind of like, no, that's not happening. It's like, no, we forgot that last year the Olympics were supposed to happen in Tokyo, but of course the pandemic ruined that. So now that, they've moved it up to this year, this coming July, but for some reason it's still going to be called the 2020 Summer Olympics. I don't know why. But, I'm looking at what the games are going to be like, and it looks like it's just going to be a really weird, boring affair because for anybody attending the Tokyo Olympic Games, they're going to have to be quiet. They're not allowed to cheer. According to this Hollywood Gossip headline here, the venues are for only locals. So if you live outside of Tokyo, then you're screwed. 50% capacity. The audience must wear a mask, stay silent, and leave right after. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
I know. And you know what? I mean, at the risk of sounding offensive here, I don't mean to, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like maybe this is in line with Asian culture in terms of how they handle public events, because I feel like...
I mean, that could be true.
Yeah.
I was about to say that Americans tend to be loud. Going back to my Berlin trip, I remember getting off the plane and getting on a bus with my friend who came to pick me up, and I was obnoxiously loud, and I suddenly was self-aware that no one else was being that loud on the bus, and I just whispered to my friend and said, "Did something happen?"
Yeah,
and she was "No, people are just not that loud on the train." I was like, "Oh, okay," and then I kind of shut my mouth up, but
yeah.
So I could just be, I could be just culturally, just a cultural thing. You kind of, you're just quiet and you pay attention to the game. I mean, I appreciate it because at least people who are there, they can appreciate the game and not be all going to a baseball game in New York is it's a circus. So.
I'm sure. But there's something to be said about cheering because I feel like the athletes, they kind of work off of that. That energy, that crowd noise seems to be infectious. I mean, not only, are the fans generally happy to be there, but I feel like the athletes really work off of that. So, I mean, to be doing all these active sports in the Olympics, running and skiing and whatever they do, and just to do it to silence, I feel like, man, is their energy going to be affected by doing this in silence? I don't know. We're going to have to see more about that. And that is our Hollywood gossip for now. So if you have a piece of Hollywood gossip that you want to send me and Massiel's way, facebook.com/anythingshow, and also our Instagram @anythingshowfrancois. And, to kind of step back to our Free Brittany story, once again, Massiel Hernandez, my co-host, did a wonderful deep dive into the Brittany Spears conservatorship story on our podcast, the Black Hole Sun podcast. The latest episode is up. Find it wherever you get your podcasts. I know. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Yes.
Just so you know that I did a couple of weeks ago, I did a Free Brittany episode where I talked about the conspiracy theories surrounding her being abused. So this one was kind of a part two and a redux because of the statements I wanted to come out and kind of further speak about it. So there's a two-parter this time.
Oh, nice. All right. The Black Hole Sun podcast. Find it wherever you find podcasts. And of course, Massiel Hernandez, an actress always on the go in New York City. So you might see her at an audition near you. You never know. And Massiel.
Or TV or a movie theater near you.
Yeah, there you go. That too. Yes, absolutely. And look out for her in a Popeyes commercial, because I think Massiel is going to have this. I think, to reference last week's episode, I think Massiel is just going to be, commercializing products that she actually hates. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I didn't get that Crocs commercial, but, I'm going back to hating it. But,
Popeyes, Crocs, everything she hates, she loves in a commercial. I love it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, my conversation with Emma Paunil coming up right now. Emma Paunil Music, thank you so much for sponsoring the Anything Show. Emma Paunil has a wonderful series of musical children's books. You can also check out her guided planners and journals if you really want to, figure out a nice, organized way to go about your day every day. And Emma is going to talk to us about an awesome thing that she is doing for World Suicide Prevention Day in September. So after we hear a word from our sponsor, the Choose Your Struggle podcast, we'll investigate and go into our other sponsor, Emma Paunil, right here on the Anything Show. Massiel, good luck with. Massiel's not going to be joining us next week. She has to have some moving done.
It's not even me. It's not even me. But the house is under construction, and it's just it's going to be way too noisy. If for some magical reason I get to escape, then maybe you'll hear from me next week. But I doubt it, because it's going to be chaos at my house. So.
Oh, no worries. I got a co-host in the wings just in case you can't make it. So you're good to go. Yeah.
I'm not looking for it, guys. It's going to be just insane at my house. There's going to be way too many people at this house.
Okay. So hopefully Massiel will be back in one piece the following week with us on the show. All right, Massiel, take care.
Thank you.
The Anything Show with Jon Francois would like to congratulate the Choose Your Struggle podcast for publishing their 100th episode. Started in January of 2020 to help end stigma and promote honest and fact-based education around mental health, substance misuse and recovery, and drug use and policy, Choose Your Struggle is hosted by Jay Schiffman, a speaker, storyteller, and guy in long-term recovery. You can learn more at jayschiffman.com or by searching for Choose Your Struggle or Jay Schiffman on all social media platforms. And check out the Choose Your Struggle podcast wherever you get your podcasts. All right, everybody. Jon Francois here from The Anything Show. I'm so honored to be joined by Emma Paunil of Emma Paunil Music. She is sponsoring The Anything Show this week. Hi, Emma. And I'm based here in Vermont. Emma, where are you?
I'm actually now in New Mexico. I originally was from Arizona, and I just moved here. I'm happy to be here, and I'm also happy to be on this show. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Now, let's just start from the beginning. Let people know who you are. What is Emma Paunil Music? The objectives. Just give us the big elevator speech.
Well, basically, I'm a professional educator and creative. I've got a wide range of disciplines. I come from a background of emotional development, emotional intelligence, leadership, mentorship, and, of course, my piano and music and songwriting. And basically the foundation of what I care about is emotional understanding. So I've got a complete tree of directions from that focus where I go off into music, my authorship, and anything else I create. I just want to create work that helps people be more understanding of themselves, ultimately heal to have a better life. So that's my elevator pitch of Emma Paunil.
Now, and I wonder, how did this passion come about? Wanting to get into, as you said, emotional understanding, mental health, and such. What made you want to, say, all right, I got to get into this?
That's a great question. Considering I actually started out most of my life knowing that I wanted to be this veterinarian since I was 7 years old. And I did go to college for that, and I was going down that track hardcore. And then I took a detour, and I went to Africa for 2 months or so, Namibia, Africa. And I stayed actually camping in tents on top of vans. So that way we traveled from different tribes and through different villages. And I fell in love with teaching, because my guide on the trip, he was a German guide. He said, "You know what, Emma? You should help teach some classes while we're here at the school." And it's called Ipupa Falls, and it's EPUPA, but it's a gorgeous waterfall area. And so I taught, and what I learned from teaching these kids in basically an observational study and a questionnaire in the process of teaching English, science, math, and whatnot was I wanted to know more about them, about the kids, and what they were feeling, what they were thinking, and so it basically stemmed, in a nutshell, from that experience there, and becoming much more aware of the energy in the beings that obviously are all over this world. I became much more connected to the people and not just the animals. And from there, it's kind of just grown to what it is now. And I actually denied my call to Cornell Veterinary School, and I said, no, I actually want to teach. And so I've been going down that road of it ever since.
Yeah. So, let's see how we can lead to the musical children's books that you have put out, which is a wonderful collection here. You mentioned that you wanted to know what children are thinking, feeling, and such. And I wonder what you were noticing in children that made you say, okay, I have to, create these books that specifically tailor to, them, exposing their emotions, their feelings in a healthy way. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's an excellent. I couldn't help but notice in my research and working with middle school students in Western society versus the students that I worked with in Namibia, Africa as well, I noticed this drastic difference in the answers to the questions that I was asking these kids, which is, what makes you happy? What do you fear? And what makes you feel safe? And what makes you smile? And I asked these questions, obviously, to these two groups. And the Western students, and the students throughout Tucson, Arizona, and throughout Arizona in general, they seem to answer in a warped perspective of society, in that their fears were placed upon them from society, rather than the fears of the students in Namibia, Africa, that were very real fears, where they literally would say, I am afraid of the elephant, I am afraid of the kudu, and all these natural fears. I'm afraid of natural things. But then the students in Arizona, their fears were not making mom and dad proud, failing, not passing this grade. And then the things that made them upset were feeling insecure and not feeling enough. And there was a lot of that in the Western students, or at least the Western society in general, versus in Namibia. And I wanted to dig into concept a little bit further, and since then have been creating these musical children's pictures books because of the anxiety levels in kids that are unfortunately societally imposed. And so that's essentially what led to these musical children's picture books. One of them is Gentle Dragons, and I wanted kids at a young age to start thinking a little more critically and deeply about emotions, their feelings, and how to cope with those, and why everything is okay. And you don't have to be afraid in the ways that society is making many of us be afraid, no matter what age we are. Even when we're in our 20s, we still have these self-created fears, that are not natural. So Gentle Dragons is one of those that goes through different groups of emotions, basically, that I cover with each dragon. And each dragon has its own emotional gifts that they have to be able to give these children tools to use to manage their emotions. And the music part of it helps, as you read these books, it actually helps decreasing anxiety levels and stress, and physiologically helping as well as psychologically.
Yeah. And I wonder, because I know, I mean, look, I as a I guess I think I'm still considered a young adult. I'm 29, going to be 30 in November. But I've gone through anxiety and depression for quite a bit, and what I've picked up on is when I was a kid, I think I was like a lot of other kids, where you just basically go on impulse. You really don't have the time, or we weren't really taught by my family to like take the time and kind of sit down and wonder, why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling angry? Why am I feeling sad? Why am I feeling let down? It's just, everything's just on impulse when you're a kid. And I wonder if a lot of kids, if they were to expose themselves to, your musical children's books, I wonder if that would have a positive effect as they grow older. In other words, like, if the kids knew as early as possible, like, okay, like, this is what it means when I'm feeling this. This is what it means when I'm feeling that. I just wonder if that could serve their mental health really well growing up, as opposed to what we've been having lately, where it's like, all right, impulse when we're a kid, we're doing this, we're doing that, and we're not really knowing why. And then, all of a sudden it hits us when we grow older into the teenage and adult stage, like, oh man, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm this and that. So, I don't know if that makes any sense, but like, yeah, with your books, it kind of makes me think like, oh man, if I was exposed to Emma's books when I was a kid, then, I don't know, maybe life could have been different. I don't know. Maybe there would have been a more positive outcome to my mental health. So that's just an observation that I want to bring up, if that makes any sense.
It totally makes sense. And not only that, I genuinely believe that the process of reading alongside your children too is very healthy as well. And there are a lot of wonderful children's books out there that, of course, don't have the elements that I have. And even still, when you sit down and you read to your kids, there's a bonding going on, cuddling up with those kids and reading them the books and having them look at the pictures with you. You're going through an experience with your child, and that is very, very wholesome and necessary. It gives the child the attention and the love that as well. And of course, the elements that I wanted to incorporate is to demystify these concepts that are otherwise just ignored. You go to school, you go to middle school, and yes, you do go through these impulses because you're being told what you're supposed to do. And that's why I loved working with middle schoolers, which is contradictory to what most teachers will say. But I loved middle schoolers because it's that flicker of, but why do I have to do that? And I love that about kids. And so that's why I really did want to start integrating these concepts that otherwise don't get included in schools to the degree at which I believe they should.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if for those just joining us, I'm speaking with Emma Paunil of Emma Paunil Music. We're talking about her wonderful musical children's books that addresses how children are thinking, feeling, and such. And Emma, can you give us an idea? Can you let us know like where we can find these books, and maybe also I hate to put you on the spot here. Give us a good sort of verbal picture of sorts of one of the books that you've created.
Yes, definitely. Well, you guys can find my books on Amazon. If you easily can find them on my Amazon author page for Emma Paunil. And I believe that relevant links may be included in the description, but they are both on Amazon. Print copies are available as well as ebook. The Gentle Dragons one actually has for Kindle Fire and certain Kindle Reader editions, you can play the music right in the books. Now, just a little brief overview of the books. Gentle Dragons is a story that is actually coming from me and my imagination. And I share this story with the reader about these 7 dragons. And whenever you or your child are feeling in an off emotional state, you can close your eyes and these 7 dragons will come to you. And on each spread or page spread is a dragon. And that dragon has a unique gift that will offer for guidance in whatever emotional turmoil, issue, anxiety, fear that you're experiencing. Each dragon has its own own gift for the reader. And in the end, you remind yourself that no matter what you're feeling, where you are, these 7 gentle dragons are always with you. And that is, in essence, the overview of that book. But it comes with my twins album. And each dragon is so named in accordance to the song that it comes with. And so you guys can see that on any major streaming platform. Gentle Dragons is available. So if you don't want to listen to the book, or you don't want to read the book every single time and just enjoy the music, you're welcome to listen to those songs on Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and really any other streaming platform.
Right.
And the other story is Queen the Cat, and that one is basically throughout the day in the life of Tween, who is a real-life cat. We adventure across the farm as she makes sure her animal friends feel special. And along the way, she accidentally comes across a very mean neighborhood cat and find out how she reacts in a positive way.
I love it. And what's your website? EmmaPaunilmusic.com? Is that what it is?
It's actually just EmmaPaunil.com.
Oh, there you go. That's even much easier. EmmaPaunil.com. And, that's where people can get all the information on the musical children's books. So if you're a parent and you are, kind of wondering what your child is thinking and feeling, maybe concerned, maybe, or just, would like to educate your child more on emotional understanding, mental health, things like that, then check out Emma Paunil's musical children's books at emmapaunil.com. Now, Emma, you also have guided planners and journals. Explain that.
Yes. I have one right next to me. The first one is My Terribly Great Ideas. And that one I created inspired by Earl Nightingale. Actually, he released a lot of wonderful speeches, and the one that this is based off of, Stranger's Secret. And basically, Earl Nightingale's speech is a motivational message that gives rise to the notion that in each of us exists a stable asset, which is the gold mine between your ears. And so the journal is really simple. Basically, every day for 90 days, you write down 5 ideas a day. And this journal will guide you through all of that. And the best thing to remember is that not all these ideas have to be good. In fact, you shouldn't attempt to judge them. Just write them down, because in the end, you'll have 450 ideas written in the book.
Wow.
And honestly, it really only takes one good one.
Oh, my goodness. Ooh, that is overwhelming. Yeah. 460 ideas. Oh, God. So, all right. And
I have been using it. Yes, I have been using it, and I have to say, the momentum of reviewing my own publication, but I mean it when I say this, I really have noticed them since I've been using it. If you feel like you're stuck in a rut and you're just not coming up with stuff, and you're an entrepreneur and you really want to make something unique, I really recommend this journal, because when you do start using it, it's like this portal opens and more ideas just come flowing to you naturally.
Wow. Okay. And that can also be found at emmapaunil.com?
Yeah, it can actually. I believe it's products and publications. You can find that. Or again, it's on author page. You can find all my publications, including the guided planner, which is called Balanced Mind as well.
Wow, I love it. And lastly, you are doing something wonderful for World Suicide Prevention Day in September. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, definitely. Actually creating my first vocal release, which is really exciting. And it is called Soul Flame. And the purpose behind this is I love music, and I love art, and I really, really wanted to capitalize the messaging that can be integrated into the works. And I wanted it to be a good message. I wanted it to be something that I felt took us away from societal distractions and disheartening things. And I really wanted people to feel ignited by this song. And so Soul Flame is actually not only just a release. To me, it's a movement. coming out on World Suicide Prevention Day, which is September 10th, 2021. This release will mark the beginning of what I'm referring to as the Soul Flame Therapy Support Program. And this program will, of course, officially also be launched on the same day of the release. Now, the purpose behind this program is it's basically a fund, because I want to help people who hesitate to seek out therapy due to any fear of financial burden from therapy. And if they feel like paying for therapy can't be balanced with their other vital expenses, such as housing and food, I want to make sure that that isn't even a concern. So I put together this fund that you can find. I've got a GoFundMe campaign to start it off to try to get to my goal.
Sorry, Emma, to interrupt you. What is your goal for the GoFundMe campaign?
Oh, the goal. Get ready for it. It sounds like a lot, but it is 11,111,100 because GoFundMe won't let me add an 11 at the end of that. I wanted it to be 1111111.
Man, $11 million.
Basically, yes. The reason why is I did some research, and there was an estimate published in the APA, the American Psychology Association, which averaged data from various therapy techniques, which, of course, there are a lot of them, mind you, and they found that through several self-reported findings, 50% of patients that recover, they recover from an average of 15 to, and alongside that finding, the average sessions cost $20 to $50 with insurance, if covered, and $60 to $120 per session without. So, that being said, if this fund of $11 million manages to pay, which I will pay a maximum of the $2,400 per person, which is 20 sessions at $120 per, you can end up helping 5,000 people with that total maximum, which I believe is well worth it. 5,000 happy, healthy people. But honestly, I think we can help more.
And can you tell us either what the GoFundMe link is or where to find the GoFundMe link? Because this obviously is something we need to be a part of.
Yes, please. It's GoFundMe.com. And I believe it's /soul-flame-therapy-support-program.
Oh, man.
And I believe that is the link. Yes.
Wait.
I believe I emailed it to you, too.
You did. And as someone who's very new to the GoFundMe, there must be like a search bar that you could find, and then you can just type in Soul Flame Therapy Support Program, right? Or does it have to be what you mentioned, the link, which is like GoFundMe.com/soul-therapy- etc. You know what I mean?
No, you should be able to fundraisers by name on Go, and you should be able to find it. It's just Soul Flame Therapy Support Program, and you'll be able to find that as well through the search bar.
Yeah. Now, I was almost begging you, Emma, to give my Anything Show audience an exclusive listen of Soul Flame, but understandably, you want to keep it under wraps for now. But give us at least a tease of what we can expect from Soul Flame. Like, give us I don't know, give us some kind of color. Like what kind of spice can we expect from this song?
Oh, yes, that's a little bit of a taste of it for sure. Essentially, it starts out ambient. I would peg it as a mix of neoclassical, which comes from my piano background, but more so alternative. It's definitely an alternative vibe to it. And it really, really ties with the music video. I have acting as a background and now directing as well. And the writing of it itself, I really wanted it to be emotionally impactful. So, again, thing behind it, it's got the song itself. You really have a pull. It pulls at your heartstrings in song. And then when you watch the music video, that actually follows along the story of a young girl that experienced loss at a young age. And we walk through her life through this song. and into her young teen life, we witness her darkest hour. And this ties right alongside the emotions of the song itself, the music. And then in the end, we find out the feeling of igniting your soul flame. And I promise you, it leaves you in tears, but it leaves you with a good feeling. I'll tell you that.
I mean, it's your first song, your first vocal release, as you said. I mean, how did you feel? Because you wrote the song as well, right? As well as performed it?
No, yes, I wrote the piano, and I put it all together.
And, take me through your state of mind, your nervous system. Like, how was it, creating this debut release? I imagine it was either thrilling or just terrifying, or maybe both. But take me through what you were feeling.
I created it. Didn't obviously, I've been really, really developing it since then, but I created it, I believe, 5 years ago now. And it created itself, basically. When I did it, I was just feeling. I was sitting at the same piano I've had since I was 4 years old, and I was upset. And I was basically singing to myself in my apartment, myself. And 5 years ago, that's how it was created. I went from a feeling of low vibe, basically, in everything that was happening in my life, the anxiety, feelings of loss, and I developed it. It was every bad feeling that I was having just came out. I know that sounds like it would be an unpleasant experience to listen to, but it was my process of healing as I sat at the piano. And since then, obviously, it was 5 years ago, I doubted it, and I didn't understand what it could become until, honestly, this past year, 2020, was when I really started considering it.
Wow. And now here we are. So for World Suicide Prevention Day, September, you'll have to look out for Emma Paunil's single "Soul Flame," and that is a song dedicated to suicide awareness and prevention. Also, of course, look out for her GoFundMe campaign for the Soul Flame Therapy Support Program. Go to the GoFundMe website and basically type in "Soul Flame Therapy Support Program," and please help Emma get toward that goal of $11 million. A very big, ambitious goal. We could certainly meet it. And along with that, I mean, Emma, you're pretty much saving the world with your musical children's books. Again, giving children a great understanding of their emotional and mental health, and also the guided planners and journals for people who just need to figure out a way to develop and grow their ideas every single day. So I really am wondering if you are like a descendant of God, because you're doing all the right things right now. I love it. And EmmaPaunil.com, EmmaPaunil.com to find the musical children's books, the guided planners journals, and again the GoFundMe campaign, Soul Flame Therapy Support Program. Emma, it was such a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for supporting the Anything Show, by the way. And please, best of luck with everything, because, wow. I mean, if we're talking about a great example of the greatness and the betterment of humanity, I'm talking to her right now.
Oh, thank you. I really do appreciate getting to share the message and share my creations, because I really, really do want to just the world. That has always been something that I've felt is just this. I really, really want to help every single person if I could, but obviously but I will try.
Yeah. Awesome. Emma Paunil Music, EmmaPaunil.com. Search for her. You definitely won't regret it. Emma, thank you so much for speaking with me on The Anything Show. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
Listen to The Anything Show with Jon Francois on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts. How does Jon know how to set up podcasts? Is he that? No, he can't be that smart. Follow on Facebook at The Anything Show and on Instagram at Anything Show Francois. Did you get all that?